Yeah. Wake up with coffee and sports. Sunrise glow, listen coast to coast. A flow like you know.
Offensively, who made them? Oh, Patrick Mahomes.
Sideline to sideline with plays to show. This network's got the spark.
When you put up 300 yards rushing against someone, that you got your butt whooped.
I feel like I would have liked to see Oregon Ohio State in the semis, not the quarters. So I think some reseeding is probably where I would change. But
they're out of their mind. They're going to do this 3 quarterbacks in a row.
Here's the crazy.
I just can't take it.
Birds keep flying high, fans cheering loud, and one podcast moving through the crowd. Meaty Boyz brawling, no holds barred out. This wire life never in doubt. Tune into the vibe.
That's my bold prediction for the show. Devin Booker, in the next 3 years, he will be a Houston Rocket.
Because I still think Seth is still at the top of his game. I do. I think he's right there. Who knows? Maybe. Not this year, but one time soon. Why wouldn't we potentially see Seth and Roman? You know what I mean?
Tune in the vibe.
Gardner on the mic tonight. News coming in left and right. Move better with the latest fight. Gene's got that insight tight. Champions rise and they fall. Wire to wire, got it all. Every move in every brawl. Tune in for the curtain call. Wrestling talk all night long. Catch the latest match and song. Ring the bell, let's get it on. Every story bright and strong. In the ring they clash and roar. New rivalries and so much more. Titles change and legends lore.
What's poppin', y'all? It is your boy, Gardy 3, and welcome to the Meaty Boyz Podcast with a very special guest this week, Will Morgan.
How you doing today, everybody? Good to be here, Brett. Thank you for having me on, man.
Of course, anytime. Say, big week in wrestling, definitely a lot to talk about.
Oh, fact.
But I want to start with a question for you.
Sure.
Because, of course, I'm going to try to plug my own, my new Meaty Boyz Twitter page. Had a post on there. I will. My question to you. Rank these beatdowns of Cody Rhodes in honor of Randy turning on him.
It's just tough. I'll probably go John Cena 1, The Rock 2, and Orton 3. That's probably the way I would go. Yeah, that's the way I'm gonna go. I think
got you.
1 is important because of the whole Cena issue. Then you saw Rock just take it to a family level. And then 3, you know, I don't look at it like Randy turned heel. It's more like Randy just turned back into the Viper and did what he did. So that's my reasoning for all 3.
That's fair. I think I want to go with I pretty much agree. I would flip The Rock and the John Cena one. I think it was just like almost like the whole like scenery too of when The Rock is beating up Cody Rhodes. They're outside. It's raining. He's beating him with his own tour bus pretty much. Like,
yeah.
I just think like in terms of impact, I think John Cena is easily number 1. But in terms of like just the beatdown and like the visuals and everything, like it's just so hard to top, beating somebody down in the parking lot in the rain. That was a terrific bit of television between him and The Rock.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think the biggest story coming out of WWE, we got some almost seemingly breaking news from Monday Night Raw. Obafemi came out and seemingly accepted Brock Lesnar's challenge, open challenge for WrestleMania. So I guess Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. Will, how scale of 1 to 10? You hyped for that one?
I'm gonna say this: if Oba don't win this, we riding. We are riding if Oba don't win this. You know Brock's history going in there with African American wrestlers. He done beat everybody. Everybody. Some in record fashion. Example, Kofi Kingston. Didn't even put up a fight. Nah. If Obafemi don't win, we riding. That's just all it is to it. We riding. You see, they took this challenge out of the month of February because you know good and damn well if it was February. Oh, hell no. We riding in the streets if Brock Lesnar win.
If this happened in February, you know Triple H is booking Brock to win.
Yep.
100%.
I just think if you're looking at need, it would benefit Obafemi more than it would Brock. If you're just looking at need, or a person if someone needs to get over, I truly think Obafemi could use and benefit this to even move further up the ladder. They already love him, so yeah. If Brock wins this, we riding. But I don't think Brock will win. I think Obafemi is gonna get this victory, and put things sort of kind of right on the scorecard.
You know what's odd? I've actually seen people making arguments as to why, Oba should lose, and I'm like, I can't even begin to process how that would help anybody. Because they're like, oh, he's young, he shouldn't be beating a guy like Brock so early to his main roster run. It's like, dude, I don't know. Kevin Owens beat John Cena on his first match at a pay-per-view at the Elimination Chamber back in the day. So just let's let Oba get this big win at WrestleMania, because honestly, like, let's say Brock does win, like, what does that really do for Brock Lesnar at that point?
Nothing. You beat a kid. I'm not saying a kid in kid that sense, but you're beating up on a rookie. It's not gonna help you.
No, I completely agree. So I don't mind the idea of, Oba versus Brock, but there's only one winner in this match, and it has to be Obafemi. Otherwise,
Gotta be Obafemi. It's gotta be.
I'll say, otherwise, I'm probably gonna at least complain about it online.
Oh yeah. We riding, man. I'm telling you.
We'll pulling up. Let's say we'll be doing a live stream watching WrestleMania. We'll pull out the pitchforks and tiki torches.
Oh yeah.
Say, I am curious. Tonight too, we're getting Roman Reigns responding to CM Punk's comments with saying he's going to bury him next to his father. I don't know, man. I think CM Punk's going to get like brutally beat down tonight. Because I'm not sure what other direction you go here tonight. Like, I feel like the appropriate reaction is CM Punk needs to just be beaten to a bloody pulp, and that's what makes sense in the story. So, what do you think happens tonight in the main event of Raw when Roman and I'm assuming Punk come face to face?
Oh, Roman need to beat him down. He need to beat him down for what what he said on that Raw, as well as the show after what he did with the Usos. So yeah, he needs to get the beat down tonight, and I think he will.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say we had. It sounds like, judging from what JR said too. Look, I know a lot of people were speculating about one more dream match and one more match for Stone Cold Steve Austin, but according to JR, it sounds like Stone Cold's really done this time. He had that retirement match against Kevin Owens, and honestly, though, I don't blame him. Like, I don't think there's a match that he can have right now that would top what he did with KO, because that was just pure magic. So,
yeah,
I honestly, like I said, I don't know about you, Will, but I think the smart move is just stay retired, let that retirement match be with Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, and ride off into the sunset.
That would be a good idea.
It's funny. I feel the same way about The Rock too, though. Like people are talking about The Rock for Saudi next year, and I'm just kind of like,
why?
Like the tag match was so perfect that I can't see him topping it. Like just go out on a high note, the high note of WrestleMania 40.
See, I got a problem with Saudi because sure, you get some impactful things that happen over there, but not everything is impactful, and you don't need to shoot, you don't need to unload the clip when you're over there, I feel. Yes, you do get some impactful things that happen over there, but the most impactful stuff needs to happen over here stateside for fans over here. Not to take away anything from fans on that end of the country, but I just think that your major title changes, promos, things like that need to happen here. I don't think Saudi, while a nice little runoff, should be coveted as it is. I get it from an WWE standpoint. They make a ton of money from Saudi. I understand it. I get it. But I just think a lot of your stuff in WWE needs to be handled over here stateside and get fans back into it here. Gene mentioned something to me a couple weeks ago on the morning show. If Triple H doesn't do any better, he's gonna be in trouble. And I'm starting to see why Gene would say that.
Yeah, and the funny part too is, it's weird though. Like we'll have to see still if WrestleMania in Saudi even happens. Like they might have to, resort to a backup plan if things don't calm down over on that side of the world. So
yeah,
I guess my question to you is like, let's just say they have to move WrestleMania from Saudi. Do you think they, fully bring it back stateside, or there's only one place I really want to see WrestleMania, and that would be Wembley Stadium in London. That would be terrific. But
that would be cool.
But other than that, do you think they still maybe try to push it internationally to maybe like Wembley, or maybe go up to Canada for a fun one, or do you think they just come right back home?
I think they come right back home, but I wouldn't mind seeing them make another stop in London. I would not mind that at all. But I think they come back home. Atlanta, Louisiana. You do have some hotbeds that could benefit from it. Chicago. So yeah, I see them coming home, but I wouldn't mind seeing them going to like Wembley Stadium. That'd be cool too.
I'm just waiting for it. They're gonna have to move it, and then we're gonna get the. It was so nice. We did it thrice. WrestleMania in Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
I can't imagine why that was a good idea from the jump. I know, like a lot of the people, a lot of the news around WrestleMania right now are like slow ticket prices, and I get it though. Like, if you went last year, like, how do you justify paying another arm and leg to go again? Like,
right.
Especially in the reality too, like. It's not like they've been blowing us away with an all-timer, build.
True.
Like, I think they picked it up this last week because the Roman and Punk and the Orton Cody shit was excellent.
Mm.
But it's not like 41 where you pretty much had a guaranteed sellout because everybody wanted to see John Cena.
41 was sick.
Let's say WrestleMania 40 was a walk in the park because everybody wanted to see The Rock and Roman and Cody the second, and everybody thought Roman was losing at 39. So that almost seemed like a lock to sell out. It almost feels like that this is the first year where they almost don't have that built-in storyline. Like Triple H doesn't have like a built-in storyline or a story that's kind of handed to him, and it almost feels like they're scrambling still.
But see, But if you're scrambling for a storyline, who do you blame more for that, creative or Triple H? If you're scrambling for a storyline, you could, to me, unless there was an injury or something that happens, you should never be scrambling for a storyline. This stuff needs to be ready and ready to be set. Now, if you change a finish, okay, but you shouldn't be scrambling for storylines at this point.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like you kind of just blame both. Like, you blame creative, but with Triple H being the head of creative, it just all kind of falls back on him. But yeah, I know, like, obviously injury to Braun Breaker kind of messed things up, and then Bronson Reed gets hurt. So I know there was a couple, but even still, like, it almost feels like they're kind of adjusting some of this stuff on the fly. It almost just maybe like how good WrestleMania 40's build was kind of spoiled it for me, but man, I don't know. Like at times it almost feels like the heat sometimes it doesn't feel like it's Mania season, which, like I said, they did a great job rectifying that last week.
Yep.
But
they need to also start bringing more guys up, because pretty much you're looking at the same people almost every week on a nightly basis in storylines, promos, things like that. You need to start looking at next man up, because now you're scrambling because you got Braun Breaker hurt, Bronson Reed hurt. You need to start bringing some of these guys up and to really take some of that takes those spots. That's why I'm thinking you're seeing Obafemi against Brock, because hey, Braun is going to be out for a little bit. Bronson Reed's going to be out for a little bit. So you're going to have to bring some NXT guys up, or some other guys you feel confident with can go out there and get the job done and get over. And that's been my biggest prep with WWE for a long while. Stop with the rotation and start bringing new people up.
I was going to say, you know what? Talking about the road to WrestleMania, there's one match that I think they're kind of doing a pretty bad job at building up. Like, I feel like Jade versus Rhea should be the easiest match to build up. Just have them be physical and have them be like monsters and beat each other up. Stop giving them microphones. I am sorry. That promo battle from the last week was rough, and the one before that really wasn't better. It almost feels like like Jade isn't necessarily a strong talker, but both of these ladies could have some really fun brawls, pull aparts, like sneak attacks.
Oh yeah,
it feels like such an easy feud to build up, but they're like, yeah, you know what sounds good? Give him the mic, buddy. Go for it. And you're just like, this is all coming off as really odd. So
can either one of them cut a promo?
Yeah, that's why it's confusing. Like out of all the builds that just base it off mic work so far, why this one?
Right.
Say, I'm hoping that it picks up soon. It's funny because I think they'll have a pretty solid match. Rhea's really fun when she's doesn't have to be the base of the match. I love that.
Do you think Jade retains, or you think Rhea gets the win?
I think Rhea wins.
It would make sense.
It's tough, but
it would make sense because the fans want it.
Yeah, it's so weird because it feels like that you could easily, run a Jade versus Bianca feud too for the title, but at the same time, they just booked Jade's title run so poorly that I don't really want to see it. They're not leaving me wanting to see more. And I think that's kind of the problem. Like, she's defending the title once every 4 months. And then when she does get on the microphone, it's rough. Like, I feel like WWE is almost just not putting her in a great position to succeed half the time, knowing her strengths and weaknesses. And
all her promos are the same. All Jay's promos are the same. I'm that bitch. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's just, that's why I'm just like, dude, just have her start beating people up. Stop giving her a microphone.
Exactly. She already a monster here. She ain't got to talk.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Say, of course, I got to mention it. We, obviously we had AEW was last night. I at least wanted to bring this one up. Looks like Ronda Rousey's made her wrestling return.
Man.
Whether it's a one-off or it's, she's going to make a couple more appearances with AEW. Who knows? I guess we'll find out in the next couple of months. I'm guessing we won't find out till after her upcoming Netflix fight. But I guess my question is, Will, would you welcome a Ronda Rousey return to wrestling, or did she burn that bridge for you?
She burnt that bridge. The minute she started talking bad about the business, yeah, she burnt that bridge. And she wasn't that great in the ring to begin with. To me, she wasn't. She was over because of UFC fame. She wasn't over because of her personality or anything that she did in the ring. I thought she was kind of boring, and when she started talking bad about the business, that just killed it for me with her. I ain't gonna talk bad about wrestling, but now you're back in wrestling. She need to go somewhere and sit down. Just go sit down. I'm not happy for this at all. And then she went out there in AEW, looked like she was half drunk and nonchalant. No, she doesn't do it. Maybe Tony Khan can make her better or pull something out of her to make her better, but right now, no, I'm not happy to see her back.
I'll say, we've never interviewed a boxer on this show. Say it's more, like we mainly talk professional wrestling, but I'll say we never interviewed a boxer before.
Hey, y'all can make it happen. You'll be the first time for everything.
Yeah, hey, fair enough. We were talking some. It's funny, we were actually talking some boxing last week because obviously they announced the whole Pacquiao and Mayweather II and Tyson and Mayweather, and my first thought was, how broke is Floyd Mayweather that he's coming out to do all of these exhibition matches?
Be funny if he loses to Pacquiao.
They didn't say that one was an exhibition, so I don't know if his streak's going to be on the line for that one. But you know what? It's funny. I think it's very possible. Like Manny is actually, he's been fighting some recently.
Yeah.
And Floyd's last actual sanctioned boxing match was a decade ago? He had a couple exhibitions in the middle, against Paul and whatnot, but I'm starting to get to a point where I'm just trying to envision how Floyd wins this one.
Yeah.
But there just might be too much layoff and too much rust, because even if he beats Mike Tyson, I don't think that's going to get him ready for Manny Pacquiao.
No, two different fighters.
Yeah, saying, hey, obviously Manny's past his, he's past his prime, but he's been putting up some good fights recently. So,
yep, I agree.
No, that's fair. I agree with Ronda Rousey. I agree with the Ronda Rousey thing though. When she started smack talking the business, I lost all interest in seeing her in the business. And when I saw her, I just kind of was looking at the screen all right, I guess, sure, why not? So I can already see the vision of if she is actually going to be part of AEW. What I'm assuming is their next appearance will be around Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're going to get a match with her and Marina Shafir versus Toni Storm and Mina Shikawa. And then that'll lead to all out with Tony versus Ronda Rousey. But once again, I'm just thinking about all that, and I'm not really getting excited for it.
Yeah, you're happy to see Tony, of course, but not Ronda.
I just feel like there's just so many people, so many women that you could put in that spot, so many fun up and comers. I'd rather see someone like Thekla or Jamie Hayter, Toni Storm again.
Oh yeah, facts. I agree.
I got you. Can't wait for the Pacquiao fight. It'll be interesting. Like I said, I don't know if I'm not confident that Floyd pulls that one off. So, but hey, you know what? He can always fake an injury in his exhibition warm up in a couple months to get out of it. I'm waiting for that. I feel like he's going to try to get out of it at the last minute.
Think so?
Yeah. Yeah.
You could.
Oh, fair. When it comes to WrestleMania's coming up, what are your thoughts on the backlash and all the ticket pricing and everything? Do you think you think WWE is going a little too crazy with the price tickets, or do you think that people are overreacting a little bit?
No, I think WWE has got a little bit crazy, because you're looking at this economy, man, and people are having a hard time making ends meet, man. And yes, WWE fan, all that. But when you go back and look at the end of the day, you're paying for Netflix to watch Raw. You got to have at least cable or some type of satellite to watch SmackDown, unless you're gonna go to a pirated site. And for your pay-per-views or whatnot, Peacock or whatever the case may be, you have to have. That's a lot of money, man. At the end of the day, and to do that, and if you want to go enjoy the events, tickets are skyrocketing. For like WrestleMania, even house shows, tickets have gone up. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Set a fair ticket price that everybody can afford, and your numbers will be better.
It's one of those things. Like I get that too, because I completely agree. There was SmackDown in Chicago last year that I wanted to go to, but it was over $200 for obstructed view seats.
It's crazy, man.
So I remember at that point, I literally just said, like, I'm just going to watch it and react to it live on TikTok. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
That's where I got the video of me reacting to AJ's return. So it, like I said, it's like, I get it. It's John Cena's last appearance in Chicago, but I'm not going to spend no $200 on obstructed view seats.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Say it. Yeah. So these ticket prices are getting out of control. Is there any matches that haven't been added to the card yet that you're hoping that they do add to the card?
Not really. I just want to see a good event for what we got currently. What's your thoughts on AJ Lee?
You'll never catch me saying anything bad about AJ Lee. She's like literally out of every single women's wrestler in history, she's my favorite. So
right.
I'm very biased. I love AJ. She's terrific. So yeah, I know she's got a title defense tonight against Bayley. That should be a fun one.
That should be a good one. Yeah.
I
don't think Bayley's gonna win. It doesn't make sense because AJ just got the title, but it should still be a good match.
No, I don't think she's going to win either. But what I could see happening, though, is Becky getting involved. And maybe instead of AJ versus Becky at WrestleMania, you go AJ versus Bayley versus Becky.
Yep, you triple threat. Yep.
So I think that'd be good, though, because it would mix up the dynamic a little bit. Like, I've seen, cool. Like we got the AJ versus Becky match already at Elimination Chamber, and we've seen them in the ring together, like, two separate occasions, once in War Games, once in a mixed tag match. So, like, I feel like adding Bayley, that would be a little bit of a, hey, we're sorry for taking your WrestleMania spot last year.
Right.
Here's a title match this year. I think that would be big for her. Like, she's honestly deserved it. So I really hope Bayley gets a big match this year.
And it makes sense because you're looking at pretty much, I mean, Bayley's kind of thick, but you're still looking at 3 of pretty much the same size ladies in the match together. My biggest fear for AJ, if you put her in the ring with a Jade, if you put her in the ring with a Rhea, there's some big girls, man. They're big, tall, strong. You would want to definitely make that match believable. I don't know how believable that would be if you put AJ in the ring with one of those ladies, or even if you want to take it to another route. AJ versus Nia Jax. That's some size difference, man.
Hey, but you know what? Counterpoint. When that AJ versus Rhea match does happen, that Riptide into Black Widow will be absolutely sick.
And we have seen her get some bigger women before, i.e. Caitlyn. And I hope she comes back. Love Caitlyn. But she did get the win there, so maybe I'm underestimating her a little bit against the bigger women in WWE.
Yeah, she plays an underdog very well. So
she does.
So I think her against, ladies like, Rhea, etc., would actually end up working because she's very good at gaining sympathy. And hey, look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the greatest co-host of all time. He's Mo Better.
What up, Mo?
What's good, gentlemen? Running a little late. Sometimes life gets in the way, but glad to be here with both of you.
You good?
You good? Hey, you know what? I have an idea. I'll start you off the same way. We started off Will by promoting the Meaty Boyz Twitter page. But no, Mo, which one of these three was your favorite Cody Rhodes beatdowns? You can even rank them.
Man, I don't know. The Rock one was pretty brutal with the belt, man.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, he was beating that dude like he owed him money. So I don't know. I guess it's something demeaning about getting beat with a belt like a strap. I think I'll go with the Rock one. I think that was, to me, that was the most demeaning beatdown.
Hey, that's fair enough. I went with the Rock too. We'll pick the John Cena one, and I think either one was fair.
Cena's really good too.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, I don't think there's a wrong answer.
I'll say, like I was telling Will, I think a big thing that added to that Rock beatdown was them doing it outside in the rain. That made it all the much more terrific.
I think so. I agree.
In the parking lot.
Yeah.
I say, of course, there are a couple things I want to ask you about, Mo, before we get into the AEW portion of it. We started off Monday Night Raw tonight with Brock Lesnar's open challenge seemingly getting accepted. It looks like it will be Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? And if Brock wins, will you join Will and I in rioting?
If Brock wins, I'll be very upset. It isn't the most. It isn't. You know what I mean? It's not the most important match of the night or of the 2 days, but I think it's the most telling match because if they put Brock over again, that means we're in for more of the same, right? You know what I mean? Like, and really, in light of the baggage that he carries with him, I'm not even sure why you would give him the platform to do what he's doing, but I would like them to push a young star, and Brock could do something he's not known for, and he could put Obafemi over.
And that's kind of where I'm at with that. Like,
me too.
Like if Brock wins, what does Brock gain from that? Nothing. Like, it feels like it's just nothing gets gained if Brock.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If Brock wins, that's just another black man you added to the record book. That's all that is. That's all that is. That's another black man to the record book. Yeah, like I said earlier, Mo, you saw they didn't broach this last month. Cause if you would have did this last month and Oba lost, boy. Boy.
Timing is everything. Will they waited till we got into March?
Yep. They ain't dumb.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then, hey, what did you think, Mo, of the Randy Orton heel turn and beatdown from SmackDown?
I actually loved it because I think that most people would agree the best version of Randy Orton is heel Randy Orton. He can be a face, but when he's a heel, then he's one of the true top competitors in the whole company. Like, Randy Orton as a heel is much better than Randy Orton the face. So I enjoyed it.
To me, it was just the Viper coming back. I didn't really look at it as a heel turn. It's just the Viper is back.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are clamoring for Cody to turn heel, but I feel like you have to wait till there's like a babyface ready to take over the Cody mega babyface spot. I don't think that guy's ready yet. I do think that guy's on the roster. His name's Trick Williams. Next mega star in WWE, book it. But I think you got to wait till somebody's ready to take over Cody's spot, and if they play their cards right, hey, you know what? We might get a fun Cody heel turn next year. I could see it. Or at least a very paranoid Cody, because I feel like Sammy's going to kick his back in too. And at that point, like, I think a paranoid Cody Rhodes could be a very intriguing character.
I agree with you on Trick Williams, by the way. That's going to be the next babyface.
I'm there with y'all. I think Trick is the next one.
Yeah.
Not just because that he checks all the boxes. He's very charismatic, Will. You know what I mean? Like, it matters if people gravitate to you. Like, as much as people or fans getting into the Usos theme song, they've already brought into the whoop that
Oh,
trick.
yeah.
They love that. So
I
I'm
love
with
that,
you.
man.
I think he's gonna be the next big one.
Oh yeah.
That was one of my favorite parts. Like when I went to WrestleMania 40, went to NXT Stand and Deliver, and they had the Carmelo Hayes versus Trick Williams for the NXT title as the main event, and that crowd went nuts for Trick Williams. So yeah, I think it's only going to get bigger. I think you could very well see a mega Trick Williams push as early as next year. Say, shoot, start it this year.
Oh yeah.
Say, when are we going to push Carmelo Hayes while we're at it?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think my idea is a solid idea. It is. You can call it a remix, you can call it what you want, but you have enough young talent, enough young talent that's African American. You can do a Nation of Domination Part 2. You can do it with Trick Williams, with Obafemi, with Carmelo. Like you have the talent with Javon. Like those four. That is a hell of a faction, those four.
I'd say you could. Yeah, no, that'd be fun. You can kind of run them like the Nexus, just beating everybody up too.
Mm-hmm.
Mo, your headline says it all. AEW, they had a terrific pay-per-view yesterday. Why don't I bring up the match card from yesterday real quick? This is my prediction post from yesterday. I did pretty well. I think I only missed like 2 of them. But man, of course, I already asked Will about this, Mo. I thought I'd ask you. One of the biggest stories of the night: Ronda Rousey showing up in AEW. Not something that was on my bingo card, but what did you think about Ronda's appearance?
I thought it was compelling, because she obviously had some kind of conversation with Tony Khan, because she had just said that she didn't like her stint in professional wrestling with WWE.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said.
And she was done with all that phony stuff or whatever. And then she turns around and lands on the AEW. What that tells me is, you can say one thing, but if a guy writes a big enough check, you're there. So I think Tony basically showed her the right amount of money, what storyline they had in store for her. And look, hopefully her run in AEW can be better than her run in WWE, because I thought initially her run in WWE was interesting, but it got stale real fast.
Real quick.
It almost feels like, and because I still don't know if it was a full-on, like, she's going to wrestle a match, or is this just a one-off appearance because they happen to be near her hometown and she got that big fight to promote.
Right.
But if it is, her style of wrestling, which is, the more closer to realistic MMA, it just might be better suited for AEW, because they tend to be more, focused on the wrestling in ring action. There's a lot of different women that can, athletic women that can sell for her, and they tend to work a little stiffer over there. So it just feels like that if this is or indeed another Ronda Rousey and wrestling run. I'm not really a big Ronda Rousey fan, but like I said, maybe it works out in AEW. Maybe it does go better than her WWE run. The fit just feels like it's a little more seamless.
I think you nailed it. And I think AEW, the way they do their storylines, the in-ring wrestling, I think that fits her better. I think it's just a better fit. I really do. And I'm not a huge Ronda Rousey fan, but if she's going to really be successful in professional wrestling, I think AEW could bring the best out of her. If my point is, if they can't do it, nobody can do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You got more free, because it gives you more. AEW gives you more freedom.
Yeah, agreed.
They give you more freedom to be who you are. If she can't make it in AEW, there's some issues.
Yeah, say, Mo, how much of the pay-per-view were you able to watch last night, sir?
Well, I didn't get to watch it live, so full disclosure for the chat, but I did get to watch, like, I call it the replay or the remix. I got to watch a good amount of it. I really was in it for 2 things. I wanted to see the Young Bucks. I wanted to see the main event with Hangman going up against MJ. So look, those were the 2 matches that I was really there for. Obviously, I'm gonna always watch a Tony Storm match, and the women's championship was something I wanted to make sure I watched. So I got to watch all of those.
Yeah, I loved your face, Will, immediately as soon as you said Young Bucks.
So
I keep that.
So here's the thing. Brett is a huge Young Buck fans, chat, and
I know he is,
and they do have a huge following. So let's just keep it 100. They have no shortage of fans. I haven't seen as much of them as Brett have, but I will admit this: every time I've watched them, their matches have been incredibly entertaining. I'm just keeping it 100. But I knew that Will's face would cringe too.
What I loved about the Young Bucks match from last night is, like, obviously they do a lot of spots where they'll get adrenaline and boost up and give us these crazy sequences. But outside of that, I thought they did really well of, selling injuries and telling a story. That's almost one of the things I think they're so underrated, because everybody's focused on, all the high octane spots. They do all these crazy flips, but like surrounding that, like I feel like they do a really good job telling a story in the ring. Like they were selling, the shoulder injury last night, the back injury. Like I thought they did a good job with that. So I think they're just one of the more well-rounded tag teams that we've probably just ever seen.
So go ahead, Will. Go ahead, Will. Say it. Where do you rank them all time? No, I'm just kidding. Don't.
F tier.
I knew. Will wasn't going to come with nothing positive.
F tier.
Will's like,
to me, fellas, it's just, and I get the popularity. I do. I'm 54. I get the popularity. I do. I understand it amongst a younger crowd, but at the same point, it's the same gimmick over and over. The way they dress. Look at the Rock and Roll Express. Look at the Rockers. It's the same freaking thing. Style may be a little bit different because the game today has changed from yesteryear in terms of what they can do in the ring, but it's the same style. It's the same copycat. Come on, man. It's the same copycat. And then they can't talk. Can't neither one of them talk on the mic. If you talk about they need a they really need a manager. They really, really do need a manager. I ain't gonna see it in front. But baby, I don't see what you see, Britt. Like I say, times change, in ring and what wrestlers do now. But I just don't like them.
Oh wow! Somebody came up. Somebody went old school. Good looking out, Hooper fans, because
yes.
Sweet
yes,
Stan Lane and Bobby Eaton. That's going back a little bit.
Midnight Express, baby.
Yeah,
Midnight Express. You know what? The thing that gets me, either Midnight Express. It could have been Dennis Conroy. It could have been Dennis and Bobby. Sweet Stan and Bobby with Jim Cornette. Either way, Midnight Express was amazing.
Say, I do have to ask, Mo, what did you think about the main event? Texas Death Match went 46 minutes, over 46 minutes.
Yeah, I was impressed because for me, being a wrestling fan since I was a kid, that was very old schoolish. That kind of Ric Flair thing where it really tests your endurance and stuff. Like 40 minutes. And look, I enjoyed the main event. I can't speak for everybody else. And I thought it was a banger because I mean they were being really. It was a brutal physical match. And I didn't really think MJF was that kind of dude that could go there, but he went there. And I thought that the more physical the match was, that would favor Hangman. Credit to the champion. That was a banger match, in my opinion. And look, the champ pulled it out. But look, Adam Page didn't embarrass himself. I thought it was a really intense physical battle. It reminded me a little bit of when Cody went up against what's the boy with the Kevin Owens. Remember how physical that match was?
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that match.
I don't know if like this shot ended up being intentional because when Hangman fell, he hit his head on the camera. But Jim Roma, Paul Orndorff, all right, 18-3 and D.
Oh man.
But like I got to admit, this will be one of the best visuals you'll see in all of wrestling this year, with Hangman's blood on the camera and MJF just holding up the title.
Oh man!
Like, I don't know if it was intentional, but it ended up being just one of the better visuals that you're going to get all year. But yeah, honestly, I'm not going to lie. I don't think WrestleMania is going to be able to top what we saw at Revolution. That's how good overall the action was from top to bottom, and they had everything you wanted. Great matches, great stories. Like, I paid the $40 for it, and honestly, I would have paid 20 more. It was that good. So that's going to be in a conversation for pay-per-view of the year when we do the Meaty Boyz Award show for sure.
I like that. I think AEW set a bar that WWE, Triple H and company, they need to go out of their way to not just match it, but exceed it.
You know what's going to be?
And I didn't mean to cut you off, Brett. I just feel that Triple H is going to have to pull a good one off at Mania, or he's going to be in trouble. He's going to be in trouble.
Hey, the next AEW pay-per-view is a week before WrestleMania, April 13th. So we're gonna see if Triple H can outperform the AEW pay-per-view that's a week before his. So
oh yeah,
I gotta. So Mo and I did this last month, but we didn't have you on the show, and I feel like that. Where is it? There we go. So I'm gonna switch up the way this question is phrased. Will, you ready?
All right.
I want you to rank them 1 to 5. We know what the answer is for number 1, by the way. It's the NWO.
Of course.
So I switched it up. Will, in your opinion, these 5 teams, with us all agreeing that the NWO is number 1, 2 through 5, how would you do it?
I'm leaving. No. I'm taking Bullet Club, moving to number 2. D-Generation X, I'm leaving at 3. The Elite, I put at 4, and the Main Event Mafia, I put at 5.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair. I'm glad we're in agreement, by the way, about the Main Event Mafia. I was so lost when I saw them here. I'm like I thought they were awesome. They were a fun team, but I don't know what they impacted besides the TNA main event scene. It's not like there was a long-term impact on that either.
Right.
No,
and then it wasn't like they were together forever either. I mean, in wrestling terms, in terms of factions, they weren't together that long.
And none of them were in their prime.
No, all of them were done. They remind me of that old Houston Rockets team with
Barkley
and Pippen. Yeah, they remind me of
that. I agree.
Just over the hill, over their prime.
Say the Hakeem of the team was definitely Scott Steiner. Main Event Mafia, Scott Steiner was maybe the greatest thing to come out of that faction.
I don't know now, because Booker was still winning championships over in TNA at that time.
I didn't even need Scott Steiner to win a championship. Anytime he grabbed a microphone,
that's true.
Was
that's
just
true.
the funniest thing ever.
That's true. That's true.
That's his value, by the way. Whenever Scott, like Big Papa Pump, whenever he grabs the mic, just listen.
Can we go back to Steiner math? 66 and a 3% chance of you winning.
I was watching one of my favorite promos of Scott Steiner from this era, and it was the other one where he told AJ Styles that he could take a billboard, strap it to his back, walk down the main street of your hometown, and nobody would still have any idea who he is. And then he called Samoa Joe fat for the 5th time in the promo.
Oh yeah. You right, but you right. You are right.
Like I said, if you want to argue,
right. His mic work made him invaluable.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I was curious about, because, like I said, to me, Will, 1 and 5 are easy. 1 NWO, 5 Main Event Mafia. But to me, that middle 2 through 4 is actually a fun conversation.
I'll put Bullet Club there over DX only because of the fact Bullet Club helped raise the game for so many people that were in that faction. And if you go back and look at it over time, there were some heavy hitters in the Bullet Club.
Same.
Some real heavy hitters in the Bullet Club. That's why I put them over DX, because the real heavy hitters. And man, they were amazing. Any faction, any of that group were amazing, and they had so many people in that group.
And of course, with the Bullet Club, they helped start AEW as well, and the Elite are a spinoff of the Bullet Club. So,
very important in history. Not that DX wasn't, but very important in history.
That's the fun part. Like, I feel like in terms of like wrestling history, the Bullet Club had a bigger impact, and obviously the Elite were the ones that directly helped start AEW. You can make an argument in terms of like wrestling history. Both of those guys would be like Bullet Club 2, the Elite 3. But DX had such a massive like cultural following. Like, it's hard to keep them out of that 3 spot, and you can make the argument for 2 just because of how massive they were in the mainstream.
Yeah. Look, I have DX. I have DX too. Just because they, like you said, the cultural following for DX, it was equal to like the way the cultural following was in basketball for Iverson. Like, he wasn't the greatest player, but he was the guy that the fans were most drawn to. He had that kind of cultural impact. I think DX, I don't think it was the greatest faction if you went member for member, but the way they entertained you, be it whether they were in the ring competing or all the little spots where they made you laugh. Remember when they showed up to WCW in the Jeep? And you know what I mean? Like DX was huge, man. They were huge.
I think my favorite DX moment still might be their State of the Union address where they read the network's demands.
Oh, yeah.
You can't swear. And then Shawn immediately drops an F-bomb and Triple H starts cussing him out for swearing. Yeah.
Do you guys remember the time? This is back when I think Sergeant Slaughter was the general manager. Maybe he was for Monday Night Raw. And they had done something wrong. And Slaughter calls them out to the middle of the ring. And they both come out wearing visors with windshield wipers because Slaughter, when he talks, is known for spitting. And they're both just sitting there wincing and stuff with the visors on, going back and forth while he's talking. Like, they were just really entertaining. And the funny thing is, they could go from joking around to being in a brawl in a blink that quick.
Oh yeah.
So I think that they kind of had like rock star status.
They did.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's so weird looking at the Elite and seeing Cody Rhodes in his suit. But like everybody else is just dressed so different. Right? They're just Cody in a suit.
So Cody suit. That's it.
No, absolutely.
Now Cody's in a suit all the time.
Right. I'd still think one of my favorite Cody moments still had to be when he did that Cody splash and he was just holding the contract. And I'm curious, what did you guys think about like the whole Drew McIntyre angle where he like quit and came back an hour later? Because to me it just felt kind of dumb because you just did the whole Drew McIntyre quits angle like a year and a half ago.
I've never been a Drew McIntyre guy. Never ever. I just think he's what Vince loves. Standard big dude. And he doesn't do anything particularly amazing in the ring. He doesn't necessarily have the best mic skills in the world. I've just never been a fan of Drew. Does he look $1 million? Yes, he does. He's about 6'5", 6'6", over 300. That's typical Vince guy. And, to his credit, he's managed to stay in the game this long. But the promos they put him in with all this bitching and moaning and I feel I got wronged. I feel I got screwed. We've seen this how many times now? I'm just sick of it.
I'll say this. I think just like we do in football or basketball or other forms of entertainment or sports, I think there's a lane for each individual talent. You talk about franchise players in sports or whatever. I look at Drew and I think he's a terrific talent. Like if I were going to use an NBA analogy, he's definitely an all-star caliber player, but he's not a franchise player.
Right.
Like I think Drew would benefit from being part of a faction and being more of a henchman than trying to be like the man. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think there's a lane for him. They just haven't put him in the right lane.
And again, looks like $1 million. Looks like the prototype that you want your son to look like if he gets into professional wrestling. $1 million. But just for the fact that he's been in the same story for how many years, is just made me turn away.
And just by the way, to Brett's question, yeah, if you want to make it, if you want an excuse for him and Jacob Fatu to be in a feud and maybe I guess eventually book them for a match for WrestleMania, you didn't have to do the fake quit thing. You didn't have to do
Right.
that was dumb. Only because he's done that before. But
Dude, TJ3 brought up a good point.
yeah,
Yeah.
what he said. Yo,
Yeah.
3 and D,
Mhm.
perfect. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Drew could be a terrific enforcer in a faction, the same way Vicious was, the same way Kevin Nash was at one point in his career. I'm with you. We're definitely. I'm with you.
And there's nothing wrong with being that guy, because it's being those guys in that particular role. They were world champions.
Yeah, facts.
No, that's fair enough. And I guess my last question before we get on out of here, because I see that T3&D brought up celebrity matches. Yeah.
Oh no, not Stefan versus Cardi B.
You know what though? I will say this.
I don't want to see that.
I will say this. I do feel sorry for Stefan just a bit. That man lost the Super Bowl and his woman on the same day.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's tough. Look, if I want to see a celebrity match, I think I want to see Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj.
Hey, that works.
There's a celebrity match.
There you go.
I would say I was going to ask, because I've seen a lot of people complaining about, Jelly Roll seeming like he's going to get on the Mania card, but there's a lot of guys that, obviously get left off the show every year, some full-time wrestlers. Do you guys have a problem with Jelly Roll getting on to WrestleMania? Because it's sounding like they might try to team him with somebody like the latest rumor is Royce Keys.
Yeah, I 100% don't want to see Jelly Roll on there. Not when the roster is as deep as it is. Why is he taking up a spot? You know what? I don't know if that one would be that good, because let's keep it a buck. Realistically, I think 50 would smash T.I. Come on. It would have to be professional wrestling to make people believe that T.I. could beat 50 in a physical confrontation. If it was just the two of them one-on-one and it was real, I think T.I. would be done.
But my problem is the whole thing. We all know who Royce Keys is, and that's the stupidest, dumbest name I've ever heard. Hi, my name is Royce. How are you? No, it should have been something else. I don't care. It could have been anything, but Royce Keys?
I know. It sounds like the name of your doorman or something.
Yeah. So the name of somebody Butler.
It does.
Royce. Go fetch.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like
you could have shoot. I go say in front. You could have just named it Tyrone to get the same effect.
Tyrone.
It could be Tyrone. And that's it. Royce Keys? Bruh. Oh,
you know what?
Goodness.
Hey, Will, the Royce Keys angle, that sounds like something Vince would come up with.
It does. It does. I just like something he'll do.
It is.
We gotta name you Royce Keys, and you're gonna go over big time. The crowd will be screaming, Royce. Man, get the hell out of here.
They didn't put a lot of thought into
They didn't.
to his name, and they still don't know what they're gonna do with him. Look, I like Jelly Roll, and I think he's cool, and certainly he's entertaining. But to me, when the roster's as deep as it is, and you're talking about WrestleMania, where anybody could get a push off of being on the card, I don't want him to take a spot away from somebody who's an actual competitor.
Yeah. I can see some other event though. I can see maybe another event. you might be able to put him in, but not Mania. That's your Super Bowl.
He could perform at WrestleMania, like literally do what he does for a living. Yeah,
But
he
not
can
in the
do
ring.
that, but he don't need to be in the ring.
You mean the ring? No, that's your Super Bowl. No.
Say it.
Mm.
Actually, T3, you gave me a fun idea for next week, Mo. We'll make our dream WrestleMania card the kicker. You got to use non-wrestlers and celebrities.
Oh,
You know what?
I want to be here for that. I want
You
to
know
be here
what?
for that.
Brett, you just put out a challenge. I love that challenge. I'm here for it. I love that idea.
I want to be here for that, boy.
That is a great idea. I love it.
Boy,
Say
Scarlett Johansson versus Gal Gadot. We all win.
I love how we're like, your minds went to
all
two
win.
different places, because my first thought was like, it'll be fun, Charles versus Shaq, and inside the NBA battle. And
Hey,
Will was like, yeah, we're going with Scarlett and Gal Gadot.
There you
Our minds
go.
went like opposite ends of the spectrum on that one.
There you go.
But that lets you know where Will's head is at, and I respect that.
Hey, at least you get on.
I co-sign that thing.
Hey, at least you get a Marvel versus a DC.
All right. Look, I wouldn't mind seeing Charles versus Shaq versus Draymond in a triple threat match.
Miss
I feel like if we're getting Draymond in there, we got to add in, make it a fatal four-way. We got to get Rudy Gobert in there. Got to get Rudy a chance to get his lick back.
I like that. Put the big Frenchman in there. Put the Stifle Towers in there.
Yeah.
Actually, it might not be good for Rudy because both Dre and Shaq hate him for some reason.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Shaq doesn't.
Or Rudy will just have a chance to get his lick back on both of them.
Yeah. True.
But no,
I love that idea though. I'm excited. Well, you got to come back for that show.
I'll come back for that. Heck yeah, I'll come back for that. That'd be fun.
absolutely. But yeah, in the meantime, hey Mo, Will, why don't you tell us what we looking forward to on Sports Report tonight?
10 p.m. Eastern, right after this show, we're going to give you a chance to get some water, get your popcorn ready for the Sports Report podcast. We're going to talk about the NBA, March Madness, World Baseball Classic, and a whole lot more. So join us right here on Wire to Wire Network for the Sports Report podcast, 10 p.m. Eastern. Get your popcorn ready.
And of course, you can join Mo and I on Thursday for the And One podcast. T3&D, you like this? We're doing another 10 years of draft boards like we've been doing this year. Will, I think you'll have fun, enjoy this too. So what we've been doing is really simple. We've been just taking 10 years of number one overall picks, acting like we have our own draft board, and just kind of ranking number one picks.
Oh, okay.
So this week, our 10 selections will be Andrew Bogut, Dwight Howard, Yao Ming, Kwame Brown, Kenyon Martin, Elton Brand, Michael Olowokandi, Tim Duncan, Allen Iverson, and Joe Smith.
Michael
Olowokandi.
And Kwame Brown.
So I'm going to say, as much as people hammer Kwame Brown, he is not the worst person on that list.
Oh, hell no.
It's got to be the Candy Man.
Yeah.
Got to be the Candy Man.
Candy Man was trash.
And then of course, at the end of the month, so the week after, we'll just have fun. We'll make a big board with 30 prospects. Although, I was thinking, Mo, might take out some of the busts and add in maybe some prospects from this year instead.
Oh, I like that.
I don't need to know that Michael Olowokandi and Anthony Bennett are going to be the last two. I'll put like Darren Peterson and AJ Dimebasta, and then we can kind of see where they stack up against every other prospect.
Oh yeah.
No, I think that makes for a better conversation. So no, I'm good with that. I'm good. We shouldn't waste a whole lot of breath on Anthony Bennett and Michael Olowokandi. So yeah.
The only debate would have been was us going back and forth with, no, I think Anthony Bennett was worse. No, I think Olowokandi was worse. Actually, no, we both know that Anthony Bennett was somehow worse.
Oh, God, he managed to be worse. Right.
Yeah. Bennett was trash. Straight trash.
And then, the last thing I want to throw out there is, look, I'm going to be hosting 2 March Madness brackets for the And One podcast. One is freebie. You just join. It's for bragging rights. I'm going to put the links up on the page after the show. Second one, there will be a prize. You do have to pay to get in. It can be as little as a $1 donation. What we're raising money for is the Labrador Connection. They are an animal shelter that helps, helps out homeless Labradors. So, like I said, you can Venmo, PayPal me, and look, the prize, I'm going to do at least like a $25 gift card, and I might throw in some candles for the winner. So, like I said, there will be at least a $25 value on the prize, and the way to enter, like I said, I'll make sure to throw my Venmo out there, or I'll just throw the Labrador Connection PayPal out there. But yeah, like I said, we're this month we're raising money for the Labradors.
I love it.
I like that. Awesome.
But I say,
Yeah,
absolutely. Anything you want to add, Mo?
Look, I'm running late. I know you guys were killing it long before I came on. Just blessed to come on for a few minutes to chop it up with you guys and T3 and D and everybody else in the chat. So appreciate you guys. Make sure you check out Sports Reporter right after this show, and check me and Brett out later on this week, Thursday night and 1.
And that being said, enjoy the rest of your night, everyone.